Hello, welcome back to Game Brigade. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be diving into Zombicide White Death by Simon Games. This is currently on Kickstarter. There's about 14 days left to go in the campaign, and we're going to dive into it. I'm going to give you my opinion on the campaign, the stretch goals, the overall value of this system, and give you some personal opinions on what I think about the system and whether or not you should be considering backing it. Now, before we get too far, I want to thank you guys for watching the show. If you want to support the show, please leave a subscription and a thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into Zombicide. Okay, Zombicide. We are currently sitting at 1,370,000 with 11,000 backers. Now, I am currently one of those backers, and we'll talk about where I'm backing later in the campaign. But first, we're going to do what we always do, and that is talk about the publisher and what do we know about them. This is Simon Games. They are one of the biggest board game publishers in the space. This is their 55th Kickstarter. They have successfully delivered almost all of their campaigns. If you go and check out their backlog, there are a few campaigns that they are currently back ordered on. I believe we're currently waiting on Marvel Zombies and Up. So it looks like there's 5 in the back order. But they are actively delivering regularly. We have never really experienced a problem with Simon Games in regards to the delivery. So if this is something you are concerned about, I would be on the more apt side of saying I think this is going to be fine. Zombicide White Death. What is this game? This is part of the fantasy line of Zombicide games, which was originally with Black Plague. I literally drew a blank there. Originally with Black Plague and Green Horde. Now, for accuracy here, I have not played a Zombicide title since I think the original Zombicide in like 2012. So it's been a long time. I have not played the fantasy line, but I do have Undead or Alive currently on my wall, and I'm still waiting on Marvel Zombies. It is a franchise that I've wanted to get back into since haven't played it in so long. White Death is basically taking one of the more popular lines, the fantasy line, and adding on to it, making it compatible with the original system, also improving on it. When I talk about improving on it, they are basically making this a more approachable game, easier to table, in hopes that you can get this game played more often. That is a good thing. It's very, very positive, and I'm happy to hear that. This is obviously the Kickstarter campaign, and there are a few things we need to talk about. The most important thing will be exclusives and retail availability, because you want to know why should you be backing this game now. And the biggest reason that you ever want to back a Simon game, if it is something that you are inclined to back, is the exclusives. So right now, the base pledge is $110. That gets you the pledge plus any Kickstarter exclusives that are within the system. So let's go through what comes in this 110 retail level pledge, and then we'll talk about those Kickstarter exclusives that you can get currently by backing this game. Right now, you'll be getting 6 survivors, not very many for a game that's $110, but you're going to be getting these guards. Now, these guards are a new addition to the Zombicide system, where these are going to be basically allies that you're going to be controlling to help you combat against the Zombie Horde. They have a single hit point, and there are going to be scenarios where you're going to try to preserve their life and keep them alive, but they are there for you to use and to sometimes take some hits for you. We're going to have 65 zombies, with 35 of them being different models of the walker. This is the standard walker. There'll be 14 runners, obviously zombies that are a little bit faster, 14 brutes, a little bit bigger zombies, 1 con abomination, and 1 necromancer. The con abomination has special movement rules with him, obviously a much tougher zombie that you're going to have to deal with. The necromancer is going to be a guy that is going to be enhancing the spawning maneuvers and movements of your walkers. So it's going to basically, because you're going to be using a lot of defenses and being on ramparts and trying to use the castle walls to your advantage, the necromancer is going to kind of break some of the rules and make it so the zombies can get access to you. So those are the core components that you're looking at in the core box. Now, we're not going to really talk about these components because this is pretty interesting. I mean, it's pretty standard. But we do have Luna Coil here. This is a limited edition Survivors. They're adding this to the game. I do not know if this is a retail exclusivity. They do not state so here. So I'm assuming this will be in retail, which is cool. And I believe this is the band that does the music for the intro. So we've got these five people. They look pretty sweet. I think if they had some models here to show, I think they'd be really, really cool. I'm impressed with that. So that's cool. Here are the stretch goals. Now, this is going to be the added bonus that you're going to get when you're backing a CMON title. These are going to be included in that the $110 pledge. So these are going to be differences between, they could be survivors, they could be playable characters. I mean, they could be zombies, things like that. But most of these things are going to be playable characters for you to play with. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one. There's a huge list of them, but there's some that are pretty notable and pretty cool. Like this Chow Ren is pretty sweet. I like his large shield. This Kiddo Maru looks pretty cool. I think it's interesting. They've got a lot of characters that are like bare-chested, scantily clad. You can say what you want to say with that. But I'm like, this is supposed to be like frigid winter. Like, how are these people, like Kato Ini, how is she not freezing her butt off right now? I don't understand what's going on there. But we got some cool minis. This basically, times sixes or whatever, your playable characters comparatively to the 6 that you get in the base box right here. So it's really cool that you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff. Then we can come down here and we can see we also got this ghost snow guy. Not sure what's going on with him. And then we have some zombies. You got some more abominations to increase our abomination count, which is great. And I believe we have some necromancers. Yeah, so we have this Tengu, a new necromancer, probably has his own necromancer rules, as well as this death notes. Now, these are going to be continually updated. This list will continually update as stretch goals are unlocked. And CMON usually does 2 different ways. They're actually doing a combination of those in this campaign. They do monetarial unlocks, which means that they will be unlocking them based on milestones hit with funding levels, or they'll do daily unlock reveals where every day they're going to release a new piece of content. They're actually doing that with both of them this time, so you're going to get both daily unlocks as well as stretch goal unlocks, which is really cool. So you can see these are currently the daily unlocks. We have several survivors and several zombies, and that's it right now, since we're only 6 days into the campaign. Now there are some added not stretch goals. There are added items that we can do add-ons with to add to your campaign. It is noting that CMON will drip feed items a little bit at a time to keep pledge levels up, to keep people pledging over the course of the entire campaign. Because usually when it comes to crowdfunding campaigns, you have a bunch of people back in the beginning and a bunch of people at the back in the end, and the whole middle period's kind of dead. So to keep people backing, keep people excited, or to increase their pledge levels, they kind of drop expansions here and there. So expect that every time you see a CMON game. There are also going to have usually they have several different all-ins. They might have a gameplay all-in, which is just gameplay related materials. And then they usually do like a bling all-in, which is going to be like acrylic tokens, maybe some terrain, if they're going to do some kind of terrain, a bunch of things. So be aware of that. And we're going to talk about this strategy at the end of the video. So if you want to hear my thoughts on this kind of stuff, make sure you watch till the end. So what do we have first here with the add-ons? You have the Eternal Empire for $45. This will not be a Kickstarter exclusive. This will be coming to retail. There are 2 survivors, though, that are Kickstarter exclusive. They are down here. If you are interested in that, you can pick this up. This is basically adding a campaign mode to your Zombicide experience. Generally, Zombicide is just a single scenario. You open the book, you find a scenario that you want to play, you set the tiles out, and you just play that scenario. There's no linking campaign, which in my opinion is kind of cool because we call this a beer and pretzels type of game where you call your friends over, it's kind of having fun. We're just going to roll some dice, kill some zombies, not take too much thought into the gameplay mechanics, and we pack it away. And if I don't see those same friends for a while, I can still open it up and play again with another group of friends. A campaign kind of limits you to the people you can play with, and kind of sometimes you have to be more strategic because things matter in terms of loot you gained, or potentially if you take too much damage and there's carryover, whatever. So this is an option. Now they did something very similar with Massive Darkness 2, which had an additional campaign added on. I bought that. I never actually played the campaign. I just played single scenarios before I sold Massive Darkness 2. So I can't give you an opinion on whether or not these campaigns are worth it. I know my Undead or Alive also has a campaign. I think it's called Lock and Loaded or something something like that. But that's that. The next thing is the Crossfire Pack. This is purely just more dudes, but they're specifically archer related guys. These are crossbowmen. So you're going to have crossbowmen that are going to be your allies that you can control. Then you're going to have crossbowmen that are zombies that are going to be taking plinking shots at you from range. So that's something cool, because normally the zombies, they got to get up to you to damage you. But here you're going to have zombies that can actually affect you at range. This is a Crossfire Pack, $35 if you want to add that to your pledge. Warlords of the Rising Sun. This is actually like a stinging point for me. When I get to the end of this video, we're going to talk about it. But Warlords of the Rising Sun is a Japanese themed expansion, basically bringing in some of the culture of the Japanese heroes into this expansion. Pretty much just a hero dump. If you're looking for just, I want more heroes into my expansion, this is it. It does include as well as a necromancer, and this is Kickstarter exclusive, so this will not be sold at retail. And then we have Berserker Walkers. Right now, these are walkers that are $20, also Kickstarter exclusive. These walkers are just basically immune to any type of ranged conflict. So archery, slings, and even magic will not be able to hurt these guys. You're going to have to get up and close and personal, which is of course not where you want to be, because that's where you get damaged. So those are currently right now, which is available at the time of this filming, for additional buys if you want to look at them. Again, we are going to see a lot more stuff added into this campaign before this ends. We have 14 days left to go. Trust me, they're going to have more. The rule book has been posted, so if you are one of those people that likes to know what is going on with this game, what is new, what are the new unique mechanics, what makes this different from any other one, I urge you to dive into the rulebook. There are also plenty of videos that you can watch, such as down here. You've got the Zombicide. This is a Quackalope. They have their videos, as well as Dice Tower. Quackalope has a lot of exclusivity with CMON, so congratulations, Quackalope, for earning that that ability there. So these are the daily unlocks. We've already kind of talked about what these guys are, so we're not going to spend too much time looking at that. We're going to zip on down to shipping, because that is the final bit of information we need to talk about. So CMON has in the recent past been very much aggressively priced in their shipping. And when I say aggressively priced, I'm meaning that they're damn expensive. I should say they're just freaking expensive. The rent's too damn high when it comes to shipping costs for CMON. And here we can kind of see that again, still encapsulated with very, very expensive shipping costs. Now, they do say up here that they're purposely doing this as a way to, based on the actual cost to incur to ship. So they're saying this is the actual cost. So we're going to charge you the freight and all the packaging and everything. It's a lot more included that they're saying that they're going to be including in this cost. So for US, that's where I'm based, most hubs between $33 and $44. I would almost always tell you to expect the higher amount, and this does not include any kind of add-ons or any type of all-ins. You could easily spend $60 to $65 in shipping on a CMON product. Now, interestingly though, they talk about the incurred weight and all that stuff, but what we have found when Pledge Managers launch is that if you add more base games, it actually gets a little better in terms of shipping costs. So it's almost like they want you to add more product to your your pledge levels to incentivize you to buy more, so that maybe you can resell it or whatever. Who knows what their plan is with that? It's just interesting that that's how they kind of play it. They are also going to be charging VAT in the pledge manager. So if you're a part of EU or UK residency, you will be expecting that in the pledge manager. Be aware of that. And then they have some timelines here. CMON has yet to meet a timeline that I can remember in a long time, so don't expect to see this anywhere accurate. So let's go ahead and finish and come back to me, and we're going to talk about my thoughts regarding this campaign. Let's see if I can bring up this thing, because I actually had something that I wanted to bring up, but it doesn't. It's not going to work. Whatever. Let's just talk here normally. There's a few things about this campaign. One, I was pledging at $100. I was at the base pledge. I think in a lot of instances, if you are interested in the game, if this is one that you want to play, I think it's a safe back. I think you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to cover yourself in terms of reselling it if it's not something for you. So be sold and comfortable in the fact that this will be a good back overall. Black Plague still holds fairly strong values, well over the cost of its pledge at the time, because of its well-made system, and this basically just increases and enhances on that system. I am not sold on the art and the theming of this version. I love medieval timelines and the period, and I was hyped when I heard that was going to be Asian themed. But I'm more aligned to like the Japanese theme. We talked about this a little earlier with the Rising Sun expansion. I wish that they kind of made the art. First off, I'm not a fan of the art. The art to me just looks really too weird. Some of the guys' faces look like they're actually like punched in, like they're concave. It's really weird. I don't care for the art. I didn't care for the art in Massive Darkness 2. I don't care for the art here either. And that's just me, but I don't mind it in Zombicide Undead or Alive. It seems to fit in that. I also don't like the mismatch in terms of the cultural inspirations, where you got some Chinese stuff here, you got some Persian stuff here, you got some European, Western European things. It seems like a mishmash. I'm not sure what's going on here. And then on top of that, you got some furries randomly thrown in. I don't understand the furry references or why they're there. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. So I'm not sold on the art of this campaign at all. So personally, I'm in at $1. Now let's talk about that backing pledging strategy. CMON is very, very, very aggressive with FOMO. I've been doing this content creation for 3 years now, and I've learned a lot of the tactics, and I still get bit myself with FOMO. They make these campaigns to purposely get you to back and spend as much money as possible. And you will easily drop $400 on a pledge without question, and then you're going to get a massive box in, and you're going to be like, what the heck am I going to do with all this stuff? I have been very, very happy the last few times I have backed CMON products and have only gotten the base pledge. In fact, I just got Masters of the Universe, the He-Man title not long ago, and I just got the base game plus the stretch goals, and I added one expansion on that I thought would be a fun expansion to include. I didn't go all in. I didn't go all the stuff, and I actually have a sense of relief coming off of me by doing that. And I encourage you to really be intentional about what you're backing, because there's a lot of times there's stuff here that will not ever get touched, and you're going to spend a lot of money. So what I recommend, and I've talked about this in a video, I think I did a video called Falling for FOMO, it was featured with Quackalope. My strategy a lot of times is, if I am tentatively interested in the game, especially a CMON title, I back at $1. That way, when the pledge manager launches, then I can actually see what the actual cost is with the shipping costs based on my location, and overall, what am I looking at? And there's still FOMO there. Don't get me wrong. There's still massive FOMO when it comes to the pledge manager when it opens up. In fact, I did happen with Massive Darkness. I went $1 Massive Darkness. I was totally fine not getting it at all. And then the pledge manager locks, and I went bling all in. So yeah, it happens. But just be aware, that's the strategy I've been using lately to just get base pledges. I think base pledges are very, very safe for CMON products as it is. You can always pick up some of the add-ons at retail later if you want, sometimes at a discount. And then you can actually see if you like the system, if something you want to continually adding on and building on. So that's it. We're going to go and end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on this pledge. I do think it is a safe back in terms of people back in this game. The mechanics and the gameplay look good. Zombicide has been a very well testified game for many years. It depends on really if the theme and the art and the characters speak to you. That's the one part where these ones actually aren't speaking to me as much as I wanted to. Oh, I meant to say this. What I wanted, what I wished this game had was like, go back to their Rising Sun game, the one from Simon, which has incredible art and really solidifies that shogunate era of Japan. Man, that would have been so cool if that was this game. That would have been so cool. Maybe featuring Mount Fuji or something. I don't know. I think that I would have been really impressed, and make the art more realistic or more akin to the cultural art of the time, which is kind of what they did with Rising Sun. Man, that would have been my jam. I would have loved it if they did that. In fact, we got these guys that look like they've been punched in the face, and they've got concave faces, and it just looks awful. And you've got foxes and tigers running around. I don't know. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm rambling a little bit too much. This is Brian from Game Brigade. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave that subscription if you like the channel. Thumbs up to support us, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.